Sorry about that.
Good evening and welcome to the February 11th, 2026 regular meeting of the Willits City Council. Tonight's a special night. We get to award long-term employees, and we really appreciate everybody being here. I know some people are here for the West Oak agenda item, and we will get to that as quick as possible. And when we do our agenda items, no harm, no foul. If your agenda item is done, we don't take it personal if you want to leave. But with that, we're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance, and I've asked Gloria with me to, have you been studying it? Are you all ready for this? If you could please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of our country.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much.
Councilmember Burton,
Late, but I'm here.
Gonzalez,
Present.
Stransky.
Yes.
Alanis.
Here.
Mayor Alden.
Here. So tonight, we have the honor of giving out some service awards. And let's talk about the elephant in the room. We all know that the city of Willits is in financial problems and we're working hard, but we can't continue on without making sure that employees who have been here for a long time, one of them has been here so long we didn't even have an award for that many years, okay? We had to get something special. But we certainly want to honor employees who have dedicated a good portion of their life to making Willits a better place. So Kate, our personnel tech, has put everything together, and I'm going to ask the Vice Mayor to join me down there while we give out some awards. And when you get your award, you're welcome to say any family members that are here to acknowledge them, because we know that when you work for an entity, you work for your spouse, your kids, everybody is in on it too. It's not just a one-man show, and we know that, we acknowledge that. So we're going to start with the 5-year pin, and we're going to start with Sergeant Avalos. I can clearly say I remember when you started, and you will get a copy of this also. And your bilingual ability, your ability to defuse situations is noticed and appreciated. I really appreciate you being out there. When you're out there, our streets are safe. Thank you very much. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you. Okay, and Corporal. No, I'm sorry, Brian Framke. Brian's with Service and Facilities, is here tonight? No. So we will get that to him, his plaque, his copy, and his pen. Corey Unangst, is Corey here?
Yes, no.
No? Okay. Corey is with Service and Facilities, and it's a 10-year service award. We will make sure that he gets this.
You know, I just want to say I remember when Corey was a kid, so.
I think I knew his grandfather.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're going to have a 10 years award for a person that, be it good, be it bad, he's the face of Willits many times with a community development. So Dusty Duley. It's not a bad face to be the face of Willits, so congratulations.
Well, I might have a better face for radio, but appreciate it anyway.
Thank you.
Yeah, right on. I'd like to thank my mom. Couldn't have been here without her.
Okay, also for 10 years from Services and Facilities, Kenan O'Shea.
He's not here.
Not here. Now we're moving up to 15 years of service. It's Nicole, but we're going to say Nici Caldwell.
Thank you.
Anybody you want to introduce?
No,
Okay.
it's my daughter's birthday today, so
Today's
they're
your
all,
daughter's birthday?
so they're all at home and I get to give thank you.
Okay, I
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Dolores, 20 years. You're the glue that often holds us together, so you don't just get a plaque. No, but wait, there's more. You get something that you have to dust. Yes, you get your mantle, 20 years of service, okay?
Yay! And I want to say that each and every one of my coworkers, Petey included, are the reason that I'm still here. I love each and every one of you. You guys are my family. I'm with you guys more than I am at home. And we'll get through this. We're going to be okay.
Thank you. So like I said, and Clarence Tarver, 25 years. We didn't have a 25-year pin, and it's not that we ran out, okay? I'm sure they didn't order that many, but you are out there, and you're absolutely part of the team of making the city run smoothly, and we appreciate it.
Thank you. It's been a good career, and I want to thank my wife for sticking with me.
Did I forget anything? Okay, all right.
Thank you.
So we're going to go through the first items as quick as possible and get to the West Oak, unless somebody on the council would like to move the West Oak item number 9A as an Adam, discussion of right-of-way abandonment request RA 22301 for unimproved alley between West Oak Street and State Highway 20 in the city of Willits. If someone would like to move that forward, I'd be happy to do that.
I think we'll get there fairly quickly.
All right, then we'll just go quickly. All right, so let's talk about the public communication. You want to start that?
Oh, I will
You
start
do it.
that. Yes, sir.
I want to prove that you can read.
The City Council welcomes input from the audience. If there is a matter of business on the agenda that you are interested in, you may address the council with this matter when this matter is considered. If you wish to speak on a matter that is not on the agenda, you may do so at this time. In order for everyone to be heard, please limit your comments to 3 minutes per person. The Brown Act regulations do not allow action to be taken on audience comments in which the subject is not listed on the agenda.
And the only exception to that we're going to add is if there's an item on the agenda that you want to talk about, but you have a time schedule tonight and you need to get out of here in a minute, you're going to be welcome to talk about it now so you can take care of other obligations. So at this point, is there anybody who wants to comment on any item which is not on the agenda? Oh, I'm sorry, her hand was up first. No problem. I'm an auctioneer, I'm good at this. All right, go ahead.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Melinda Clark. Good to see everybody. And I wrote this down so I wouldn't forget anything, but it'll be short. Since, as you must know, so many people here in Willits, in the whole Willits area, white and brown, are nervous as all get out about the possibility of ICE arriving, Immigration and Customs. As our elected leaders, you undoubtedly have discussed this possibility at some length and understand their presence here in our beloved little town will have dire consequences, really, for all of us. As we could lose friends, neighbors, employees, employers, students. We need you 5 to let us know where you stand. Will you be standing up for our people, documented or not, or for this secret police? We need to know where you stand because you're our leaders and we elected you to help guide us through this. Do you think you'll be able or willing to protect us? And I know you're not going to answer now, but I really hope that you do publicly address this. It's pretty dire. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Don, you're up.
How are you guys doing today? My name is Dingani Jackson. I own Smokey's Barbecue here in town. I'm here just to actually kind of seek some clarity on the claims process that we have here for the city. So I filed a claim on January 20th. I just want to know the process so I can kind of plan forward through this whole thing. I don't know if it's the right time to speak on it, but I was hoping I'd be able to get some clarity from you folks on what the process is that I need to go through to advance this matter forward.
Right, so it's
Typically, we try to respond within a 30-day period.
Okay.
I don't know where your particular claim is.
I've
or-
already sent it off to the insurance company, and they should be sending him a notice.
Very good.
Okay, will they send that to me?
It's on whatever address you provided.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. I just wanted to get some clarity. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir, come on up.
Thank you, and I appreciate your time. I'm here also to address concerns.
I'm sorry, your name is?
Oh, I'm Steve Adams.
Steve.
Resident of Willits, yeah. I'm also here to address concerns with ICE and what is happening in our country. All politics is local, and so I'm speaking to my local leaders about this. We have people in our community afraid to go to school, children. We have staff wondering what to do if ICE shows up. And I am concerned about this. My government, or the federal government leadership, would say people who disagree with this are domestic terrorists, are hate our country, don't love our nation. My family, I'm a Gold Star family.
Oh, thank you.
My uncle's name is on the memorial here, who gave his life for service in Vietnam. My father volunteered, enlisted at the height of the Korean War, and served 3 years in Korea and lived in a tent. I never saw my father cry, but he told me when he came home and saw the Golden Gate Bridge from that troop ship, he wept. My maternal grandfather, who was the city judge here, Fred Collins, served 4 years overseas in the Marine Corps, was honorably discharged, and when World War II was declared, he enlisted and went to the South Pacific. His son, my uncle, was too young, was 16 years old, forged his papers to serve in the South Pacific during World War II. So we are people who judge our service and love for this country, patriotism, not by hugging a flag, but by service and commitment to community. We believe in the Bill of Rights. We believe in the Constitution. We believe in due process. Don't for a minute think that we want dangerous criminals to be let loose. We want responsible, moral law enforcement, not a militarization of our police force. It's best said over the entrance to the Supreme Court, equal justice under the law. When the Declaration of Independence was brought in and confirmed on January 4th, 1776. That same day, they also enacted the motto of our nation, E pluribus unum, out of many one. That's the strength of our nation and has been from its inception. And our founding fathers knew that for them to be able to stand against the tyranny of a power that doesn't represent the people, we had to join together. And so I thank you for your time, and I hope all of us can consider the seriousness of assaults on our rights and the people in our nation at this time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Steve, and you're a very eloquent speaker. Is there anybody else who would like to speak on any item that's not on the agenda? By all means, thank you.
Larry Aguilera, Willits citizen. Yeah, I like that about ICE. But I also like to say, as you notice, I didn't stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. You know, just as you people and as Americans never acknowledge whose land you're on. You know, I go to the Board of Forestry because I'm trying to save some of these trees that are in our backyard at Jackson Demonstration Forest, you know, and I don't know if you guys made any resolutions about that, about what's in your backyard, but also, you know, at the Board of Forestry every month, and I go there, you know, they do land acknowledgement. You know, there's been a total injustice towards indigenous people, and if we don't start recognizing it, you know, it can't be swept under the table any longer. You know, people have to realize what happened so we can talk about it, so we can get past it. And, you know, I would just like to see this board do land recognition, you know, where we're standing, whose land it is today. Thank you.
Thank you, Larry. Is there anybody else who would like to speak on any item that's not on the agenda? Is there anybody that's in a hurry that needs to speak about the West Oak agenda item? All right, moving on. We're going to the consent calendar. We have city council minutes. I'm looking at our vice mayor because he reads them with a fine tooth
Oh yes,
comb.
I found everything to be sufficient. I appreciate your hard work and your diligent attention to it.
Is there any public comment on the minutes from the January 28th meeting? Hearing none, public meeting is, what, Walter, yes?
Yeah, there's one thing that just needed to be clarified. There was a word missing in the Garmin resolution for the Garmin culvert that we're taking responsibility for a potential problem. It doesn't say potential in there, and it needs to say that.
Okay. Okay, so is there a motion to accept the minutes as corrected?
I will, so move.
Okay, is there a second? With a motion and a second, to the clerk.
Councilmember Burton.
Aye.
Gonzalez.
Yes.
Stransky.
Yes.
Alaniz.
Aye.
Almond.
Aye. All right, moving to monthly activity report where there's no action, but the accounts payable, I know there's, Manny, you have comment? Do you have paperwork?
I have paperwork forward.
Okay.
I have no comment as of yet, but if you want to know.
Okay. So to Councilman Burton.
No, I've got no.
Okay. Building permit, anything to report on building report or business license? Nothing? All right.
I would back up. This is the way the warrants came. I've never had that before. They're almost blacked out to like who it's to. And I guess you can kind of barely read it, but never seen that before. And
Almost look like a workup on the page. Like it's submitted with the workup versus the final.
Does that come, Manny, do you send that to Dolores and she puts it in your?
Actually, Michelle had sent it over, but
That's weird because it's not like that on my computer.
That's how it came over to us in the PDF that probably was published.
Okay. I don't think we're going to clarify or correct it tonight.
I just wanted to suggest that we try and get rid of it.
I will. You want me to send you a clean copy?
No, I worked through it.
All right, to the city manager report.
Just a couple items. First off, next week you'll be receiving the draft recruitment material for the permanent city manager position. Once you have a chance to look at it, make any changes or edits, get it back to me. And then as soon as you're all in performance with it, we will go ahead and begin that process. In addition, Mr. Heath today finished the mid-year budget. Surprisingly, it was a little nicer than it had originally been thought. So a little bit of positive news there is always nice. Also, Davey would like to give a quick presentation and just get you all updated on a project that we're moving on.
Thank you, City Manager Richardson. Mayor Owen, council members. I'm David Bowles, your building official. Our city manager asked us to give us a quick update on one of the larger infrastructure projects we have with the Clean California grant we were awarded a couple years back. So we were in design phase when we had our small budget problems. So we hit pause on that project. We have direction to move that forward. Just want to confirm that. Currently, SHN is in the design phase. We're at about 95% drawings.
Which project?
So this is the Park Pavilion and the bathroom remodel, which includes some of the flat work repair we have some panels missing out there. And so it includes some of the flat work for the picnic tables and chess tables that are also included in this. So this is kind of one project we're wrapping into a bid coming together. So there's some minor corrections to be made on the drawings, and they have some backup work to do on the bid schedule and the bid items to help roll it into our documents that we typically use to advertise for bids. They anticipate that will be done by the end of March. We'll be able to advertise for that project. Typically, that takes approximately 2 months to bid and get under contract with questions. So we hope to be under contract and be able to award notice to proceed by May. That does have a long lead item, the steel building. It's a manufactured steel building, you have to order it. Typically those are taking about 2 months right now. So we anticipate May, that'll get you to August when you have the building delivered. We get the slab and the footings poured over there for the pavilion. And hopefully that'll be those erect pretty fast once you have the slab done, but we anticipate completion November, December for both projects with the bathroom remodel and the pavilion. And then that'll include the flat work and some of the work. It doesn't include the playground equipment, which we've already purchased. That's going to be under a separate contract because it's a specialty item. But that'll get most of the improvements scheduled for the park done this year. Go ahead. Question?
I know that you said it doesn't include the playground, but
Yes.
is that on the agenda at all with?
Yeah, so we have quite a few infrastructure projects still to be pushed forward for that grant. We still have the basketball court, we have the playground improvements, the pedestrian lights we need to put back out to bid, the fountain repair, and there's some additional flat work that was planned for over in the Rec Grove Park as well. So there's quite a bit of infrastructure.
I know that there was some interest with a fenced-in playground, and thought we discussed that when we were doing the scoping on that, but I'm not sure if that was included in this or not.
So yes, thank you. That did come up recently again. It currently wasn't in, at the time of the grant application, that was not included. Including that fence, it makes the community members feel safer with their kids kind of a little more enclosed, so I can understand that. Fencing's a relatively cheap option. I do believe there's room in there to, scope out something and get the intent of that done probably within this project.
So, go ahead, Bruce.
Did I hear you talk about a basketball court?
Yeah, so in there was we have a small basketball court in Rec Grove, which is kind of in disarray, and then one of the items in that grant was to make a larger basketball court and resurface that and stripe it.
So two things. Is just making sure everybody knows this is 100% covered with a grant. None of this is coming out of our general fund.
Correct, and the grant does have funding in there for the engineer and design work and putting this out to bid as well, so that's covered.
Then the two words that befuddle all of us, change orders.
Yes.
It seems like we can't get through a contract without having change orders, and change orders cost us money because the contract's already been approved and the grant's already been approved.
Correct.
Can we just please make sure that we know what we're asking for?
Yes, we do have a small contingency on this grant. This grant at application allowed you to add a 5% contingency to construction budget. Obviously, that's not even come close to what we allow in our own contract. We typically allow 10% for change orders. Some projects have more possibilities for change orders than others. Underground issues we had last time that we, they don't come out as anticipated. This project, every project has some change orders. Doing a good job of reviewing the plans, making sure they're spec'd out correctly helps eliminate that. So that's part of the corrections on the drawings that we're talking about is we're reviewing the drawings and there's like minor details where a note's missing a detail. Make sure you add those in there so a contractor can't go back and say, well, this note wasn't in there, now it's going to cost $10,000 more to add that.
Right.
So doing our due diligence up front will help alleviate that. But there's always unknowns, and that's kind of where change orders come from. But eliminating the unknowns helps.
Any questions from the council?
Yeah, I have a quick question. You probably said it in the beginning, but what was the grant that's funding this?
It's the Clean California.
All right, any public comment on the project that we're talking about? Yes, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, David.
Mark Walker. So my concern is on-time completion. If it's not completed on time, is there a penalty? So I don't, like the firehouse, how long it was taking for people to get back to getting stuff done. We need to nip down on that, make sure things are done responsibly and on time. And if not, penalize 10%.
Right. Davey's nodding his head, so yes, that's apparently taken care of. Thank you for bringing that up. Anybody else have a comment about this project? Hearing none. All right, we are moving on to, I'm sorry, City Manager, is that done? Are we done?
All good.
Okay. All right, item 9A, discussion of right-of-way abandonment request RA 2301 for an unimproved alley between West Oak Street and State Highway 20 in the city of Willits. Presenting member Dusty Duley, Community Development Director.
Also face of the community development.
For good, for bad, yes.
So I'm going to step out on this one again.
Yes, okay. Councilman Burton owns property within 500 feet of this project, which requires him to abstain from the discussion.
Dolores, is there the mouse or the clicker for the PowerPoint? So I just tell the vice mayor next one, he doesn't?
Have him.
Yes. Yeah. After 10 years of service, that's what you besides a pin. All right, thank you. So this request was before council at the December 10th council meeting, and this is a continuation of a discussion by request by William Harris to abandon a city maintained alley. So again, just a quick recap. The alley or right-of-way in question is located, runs in the east-west direction, is located between Oak Street and Highway 20. The alley was created as part of a subdivision back in the early 1900s. I actually was able to speak to one of the neighbors and confirmed what I had suggested as a possibility, that the alley was indeed created to support garbage services back then. The gentleman I spoke to actually as a kid was paid to help put the garbage onto the truck, so can confirm that fact for what it's worth. I feel like there was one more. Okay, just again quickly, a couple photos of the alley, including the gate that was put up to discourage some trespassing. We had created this visual last time, certainly as was brought to council's attention through public testimony at the December meeting. There's mixed feelings about whether or not to support abandoning the alley. We did get some folks that reconfirmed their stance, but no additional folks weighed in. So this is the same tally that was presented in the December meeting. And then I won't go through it again, but just to quickly remind council, last time staff provided an overview of what the process is, both from the state requirements and local city requirements, should council direct staff to move forward with the procedures for abandoning the alley or right of way. Ultimately, what staff's looking for is direction on council on whether or not we should initiate that alley vacation process. We have folks here that are anxious to speak to council. I will note that you should, in your package, you would have received a good amount of information from Mr. Casagrande, noting his feelings on the matter. And just to quickly recap, we heard from folks that were in favor of abandoning the alley. They pointed to previous trespassing issues, some fires that were started. I believe one member of the public mentioned that she had found drug paraphernalia back there. It was noted that that if the city vacated the alley, that it could reduce the liability of the city, reduce maintenance costs, and it was pointed out that if folks were allowed to encroach out into the center line of the alley, that it would allow additional land to support property improvements. We also heard from a number of citizens that opposed the request, stating that they currently use the alley for a variety of purposes, tree trimming. I think one person gets firewood delivered to their backyard. And then we also heard from a neighbor that accesses the rear of their property and parks a vehicle back there. So unless there's any questions from council.
I have a question, but does council any questions?
I'll hold off for now.
So, Dusty, the real estate, the dirt there, it's my understanding the people who own the houses there own the dirt we're talking about, and the city owns the right-of-way that we had in the early 1900s for garbage collection.
Yes, I'll restate that and maybe be saying the same thing. Based on the research and discussions with the city attorney, the property owners own to the center line of the alley, and the city maintains a public easement that's 14 foot in width through there. So because the easement is there, it prohibits the property owners from utilizing that portion of their property and putting a fence or otherwise blocking the easement.
And so what your department's asking is would the city just relinquish our right-of-way through their property?
Correct.
Okay. And is there any city use for the property?
No, from everything that we've gathered so far, it appears that this, although this is a public alley and could be accessed by anyone in the city, its use is for the benefit of those neighbors that adjoin the alley and doesn't appear to serve any greater benefit to the community.
Okay. So to our city attorney, so this is property which is owned by property owners and we have the right of way. What is our obligation to either keep it or to relinquish it?
Well, the city may vacate the easement if following a public hearing and based upon the evidence presented in the hearing. The findings are that that easement is not necessary for present or prospective public use and that abandonment is in the public interest. If those findings are made, then the city has the authority to vacate the alley upon recordation of a resolution to that effect. And there are two avenues of doing this. There's a street and highway code provision that authorizes that process. And there also, the city, like 3 years ago, adopted an ordinance for that purpose that allows an applicant to make that request. So the city council may unilaterally of a citizen making an application proceed to have an alley or street vacated, or the public can do so with an application process. And the two processes are similar but not identical.
Okay. I have another question, but we'll wait. So thank you, and we will open this up to public comment. And your public comment is for up to 3 minutes. And last time in December when we had this, several people got 2 swings of the bat. Okay, that's not going to happen tonight. You get your 3 minutes, and please tell us if you're a property owner, if there, and if you support one way or the other, and we're ready to go. Who wants to start? Well, by all means, come on up.
Thank you, gentlemen. Comments. Thank you for allowing us to meet.
You're welcome.
My name is Ken Sizemore. My wife and I, we own Earth Treasures. So we have 2 properties that are there. First off, like I said, I want to thank you. I dropped my glasses on the way in here, so it started really good. First thing I want to talk about is what the lawyer said at the end. It was amazing that I wish we would have been able to talk about that in the beginning, what he said, all the information that was given to us. For 2 years worth of investigation, and basically the alley serves no use to the city. So it's like, and the taxpayers are paying money to basically mow that and maintain that. So I think the alley, if it was established in 1902 to 2026, that's 124 years that the city's owned this alley. And it basically has nothing to do with it. We bought it from Willits Power. Willits Power basically was burglarized. They went through the alley, they cut the fence, and they stole 2 generators from Mike Garrity. Since we've owned it, there's been several attempts to access our yard, and we've had the alarm systems that notified us what was going on. Releasing the alley back to the properties, that would be the best thing. That would relinquish anything that goes to the city. I'll put a fence across the alleyway to stop any attacks for future burglaries or even to our neighbors. Putting that fence in stops anybody from going back there. And before that fence was in there, anybody could walk back there. And I just wonder sometimes, how many people's walked back in that alleyway and just basically was looking in the back of people's backyards? That's an attempt for anybody that could basically, you're safe on the front yard, but you think your backyard is safe, but somebody could basically walk through that alleyway and scout out your house and see if they want to basically, attempt something back there. So, I mean, this is wide open lawsuit for the city. As far as surveying, I've been in the trades for 40 years. It doesn't take much of a rocket scientist to take a tape from both ends of the fence, pound a stake, run a string line. You can find the center, you can go from there. And basically, that alley's an attraction. That's one day there's going to be a situation that's going to bite the city in the ass. It's like, the city could be on the hook for this. It's like lawsuits are expensive and they take years to settle. It says the golden rule is the person with the most gold rules, meaning it's like the side that has the deeper pockets comes out on top. So can the city afford a lawsuit? Anyway, so thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, who else wants to comment, please? Come on, in December, we had lots.
Good evening. Thank you for letting me speak tonight. I'm Amy Grooms, and thank you, Dusty, for sending out the notices. I've owned a home and lived on West Oak Street for the last 20 years. I would like, the alley is not a problem in any way, shape, or form unless you want to increase your lot size. I would encourage the council to ask the city the actual labor cost to mow the alley, not the inflated $1,000 per time of mowing. That was brought up at the last meeting. The park on Highway 20 is also being mowed often, which could be done the same day. The 2 landowners that are pushing this abandonment are not full-time residents. One actually doesn't even live there. There are many questions about the alley and the abandonment. If this goes through, the property lines from lot to lot don't exactly match up. So you would share a fence with 2 other neighbors that join and having to split that and deal with that. Will property owners be able to afford moving their fence? If some move their fence and some don't, then what is left is inaccessible, unmaintained land. It was stated that the city will save money by not having the police patrol the alley. They do not patrol the alley now. And so that's no cost savings and related to that at all. Since the gate, we have not witnessed homeless camping or trash. The gate solved the problem. The gate has been there for many years. The alley has been there for the last 100 years. A lot of houses were built with the alley access factored into the design of the homes. I know mine was. My father built it with the alley access in mind. When you buy a piece of land, you buy it how it is, not planning on to increase the lot size, especially at the expense of the neighbors. The remark about the signatures on the petition doesn't have anything to do with the current majority. I just want to address that. That the petition was done years ago prior to this in like 2021, I believe. And since then, property owners have passed on or they've changed. It was never renters. It was all property owners and they have sold or passed on, unfortunately. And Dusty has the current signatures of what's happening now. I just truly hope that the council will decide with the overwhelming majority of the landowners, and this should be more about what the people want, not, and the alley should remain with what the people want.
Thank you, Amy. Is there anybody else who would like to comment? Anybody else? Sir, come on. I'm sorry, no, he was first. I'm sorry. Good evening and welcome.
My name is Miguel Jimenez. Excuse my English, okay?
It's okay.
I live in Highway 20 for 25 years, and the back alley too. I live on the very far back, you know. And since I remember, I've been cleaning the back because the grass it gets so high on the back, and I've been mowing and keeping clean on the back. Because when they send somebody to clean it, they just, well, I mean, they don't clean it. I got to clean the whole thing, the whole alley. Because, you know, the fires and, you know, I just want to be safe around my house. And I have good neighbors around, no problem with the neighbors. But just the alley is, you know, grassy. Every year I have to mow it, clean it, you know, just that's it.
So what? So you're saying leave it as it is?
No.
You're saying, what's your position on this?
How do you say it then?
Well, Jerry can translate.
¿Quieres que lo pasemos esto, que dejen que cierren el alley o quieres
que cierren? Sí.
Y se los demos a los
owners.
So he wants to basically close the alley off and the owners get it.
The owners get it, okay.
Yes.
All right, sorry, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, now you get to go. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. I'm requesting
I'm sorry, your name and...
Omaya Sizemore.
Right.
I'm sorry. I'm requesting reconsideration of the proposed alley abandonment based solely on lawful public use and municipal liability, not personal convenience or private disputes. So under municipal law, public right-of-way must serve a clear and ongoing public purpose. And this alley does not. It is a dead end with no through access. It does not connect public streets, does not support general circulation, and does not provide an essential route for utilities or emergency services. Its use is limited to a small number of private individuals, not the public at large. When a right-of-way no longer serves a public purpose, retaining it is difficult to legally justify. There is also significant liability exposure. As long as the city maintains ownership, it assumes responsibility for the alley's condition and use, including potential claims arising from unsafe conditions, debris, fire hazards, or informal private use. So maintaining a dead-end alley that functions primarily as private access creates ongoing legal risk without delivering a corresponding public benefit. So from a risk management standpoint, this is not defensible. Public infrastructure decisions must be based on public purpose and public risk, not private necessity. Abandonment is a standard and appropriate municipal tool in these circumstances. It transfers responsibility to adjoining property owners and removes the city from continued liability when the public purpose no longer exists. Returning the land to adjoining property owners who already pay property taxes allows productive, lawful use while eliminating the city's obligation to maintain and insure land that no longer serves the public. Private access concerns, while understandable, do not create a legal requirement for the city to retain a public right-of-way. Public infrastructure decisions must be grounded in public purpose and public risk, not private necessity. In summary, the alley no longer serves a lawful public use. Retaining it exposes the city to unnecessary liability. The legally
Mrs. Sizemore,
responsible
your time-
action
your
is
time's up.
abandonment. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Maya, thank you. You brought some good points. Who else? Nikki?
Hello, my name is Nici Caldwell. I personally don't have anything to do with the alley. The only thing that comes right in my eye is majority. 10 people say no, 6 people say yes, so you got more no's than yes. And 6 non-responses, I will try to maybe get a response from them, either a yes or a no, to make it even. In my eyes, majority rules. When she says that it doesn't serve the neighbor, I heard that the alley is used for getting firewood and to go in the back way into a property. I see that as it still serves the people that live there. Like I said, I have personally nothing to do with that. But one other thing that I always hear, democracy at work. I'm sorry, you see 10 says no, so it's majority.
Thank you. Anybody else? Mr. Walker?
Mark Walker, 55 West Oak. Now, this easement we're talking about, shouldn't that be on my deed? When they deed my property to me, that this property's mine and this guy got an easement against it for this many feet and all that, it's not on my deed. So how can we clarify that?
Well, I haven't seen your deed, but your deed probably makes reference to the Subdivision Map Act that was recorded in 1902.
Yeah.
And so the law presumes that your property is subject to that map of the alleyway that's depicted on the map.
So
you own the property?
Right, so there's no confusion there.
Right.
Okay then, so the next question is since we're gonna start abolishing and abandoning stuff, that breezeway that goes from 20 to West Oak, because that's really what I thought you were talking about when I heard you speak. Highway 20 to West Oak is the alleyway that goes right through there.
Looking on the map, is what you're talking about, the
yes,
light?
right at the very end there. Starbucks, well, actually, it used to be old Brown's Texaco.
Yeah, the road alley that goes behind
right
the old
there.
restaurant, yeah.
So there's no designation as far as which way it goes. And there's a big clutter of everybody going every way. So this is, the city maintains that. It's a perfect time to just dump it. Say, look, we're getting rid of it. You guys take your property back. And this Inez's where it used to be, that's part of their property right there. Because I have a lot of, I try to use the alleyway and you never know, it's just a toss-up which way everybody's going. There's no clear designation. So if we're gonna maintain that, we need to really get with taking care of it and get something done about not having a problem.
Okay, and that's a discussion for another day, because today we're just talking about...
I'm saying we should abandon, if we're gonna abandon one, just abandon it all and say, go with what you gotta do, build a new fence, do everything you gotta do.
So you have property, where would you?
Mid. Okay, now, this brings up the next question. Well, all about the fires and the drugs and all the people. Well, we had a problem. They okayed marijuana. Then we had transient trimmers coming in from out of town. And then they were coming in and going down to my property. Then I'd run their ass back the other way. And I had to do that I don't know how many years. And that way it just kept it all to the front of the alleyway. Because my problem was the neighbors across my alleyway were growing dope. So that brought the attraction down this way. So then I'd have to be out there yelling at them, screaming, all these vagrants.
Mr. Walker, your 3 minutes
Okay,
is
that's
up.
fine.
I'm
Thank you,
sorry.
sir.
now.
Who else would like to make a presentation? Anybody? By all means. And your name is?
Good evening, everybody. Mayor, city councilmen, staff, members of the committee. I'm Nicholas Casagrande. The goal of this transition is to eliminate the liability. In accounting, we have an equation, assets equals liability plus owner's equity. This is the liability. And I'm going to explain it to you very quickly, with less than 3 minutes. Last time, we were instructed to go to and do some research about this alley, and I did. And what I came up with were absolutely 0 city permits applied for and issued for this alley usage. Some person said, well, they use it for their truck, which brought up another issue. If they're using this alley for their truck, then the question is, are they going behind the truck to smooth the earth? And here's why. The easement is maintained by the city. 100% liability, responsibility of the city. The earth belongs to the homeowner. As a homeowner, the homeowner owns up to the midway from the front door into the street. Their sidewalk is the homeowner's responsibility. It is a public easement. The same works in reverse. And what I found thousands of lawsuits, and I sent them to you all, where a city was responsible for not maintaining an alley in California. There was one that really stuck out, and it was down by LA. A bank robber was running. He went down an alley. He twisted his ankle in that alley. The lawyer got the city to pay, and therefore he sued the homeowner as well because he twisted his ankle, and he says he never would have got caught if he didn't twist his ankle in the earth. This is 100% liability. I worked very hard for what I have, and I do not want to lose what I have to any vagrants or to any uselessness. Now, in the event of a fire disaster, if the fire comes, not if, when the fire comes, then it'll be either a federal declaration or a state declaration, which will then issue a swath of documents to complete for insurance claims. If anyone has been through that, you'll know how disastrous that whole experience is, than having to sue, let's say utility or whoever, to get rightfully compensated. This is the one ability for the city to vote, get rid of the alley, move the properties back, and be done with it once and for all. 3 minutes, boom. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who would like to comment on this topic? Going once, going twice. Yes, go ahead.
Good evening. My name is Basima Sizemore. My parents own property on Highway 20, and we have 2 parcels, which I don't know if that's reflected in here accurately, if it's 1 vote per property or 1 vote per property owner. But what I wanted to say is that I support the alley abatement, as I see it that if the property belongs to the owners and the alley is not being used in its intended purpose as it was set out to be in 1902 by the city of Willits, that the property can be relinquished to the owners, and as it stands, the alleyway serves and benefits a few at the expense of all property owners. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else want to speak on this topic? I'm going to close public comment. Going once, going twice. Public comment is closed. All right, to the council.
I guess a question for Jim. What happens in the case of we abandon our easement on there, and let's say for the sake of argument, 5 people decide they're just not going to deal with it. They're going to let it overgrow or whatever. Some people fence it off and use it. Some people, but there's a bucket there. What mechanism is there to get folks to clean that up? I mean, other than with
The same as any, the same as any
city code enforcement will have to
parcel,
commit?
yeah, if any piece of property the city is overgrown with weeds and, for example, poses a fire risk, then code enforcement gets on that and issues letters and possibly administrative fines for that. So if the city has a hearing and makes the findings that the alley is not necessary for any present or prospective public use, not private use, but public use, and that abandonment is in the public interest, then and that becomes recorded on a resolution. And now the easement is extinguished, and those parcels are no longer subject to that former easement, and the individual property owners assume any liability for the conditions of that, what used to be an alley, but now is part of their extended lot.
So I guess then it would be incumbent on one property owner to maybe go after the other ones if some of the other ones aren't maintaining their property and it's affecting them. Is that what would happen?
Well, yeah.
So let's say we're the neighbors here and Tom's letting everything get out of hand and it's bothering Larry's property there, then...
Well, that's the way code enforcement often works, is then a neighbor will complain to the code enforcement department, and the code enforcement officer goes out there and issues a citation. I wouldn't necessarily see it as neighbors suing a neighbor, but probably getting the city involved.
And then would this be done today, or we'd have to schedule a hearing where we could notify all other utilities and fire department, everybody would have a chance to weigh in?
Right, there have to be a notice public hearing, and this is an application under the municipal code, and there's specific noticing requirements and finding requirements that have to be met. And I find it interesting that we finally learned today what the purpose of this was back in 1902, was to service garbage collection. Staff thought that might be the reason. Now we can have a hearing in which those findings can be made about what that initial purpose was, because one of the things that under the city's code is there has to be a finding that the original purpose for the easement no longer exists, and there will, and we had some difficulty knowing, well, what was the purpose. Now we know. Now there's no longer a need for garbage collection on the alleyways, and so there's no longer...
I think when I talked to Dusty earlier, it was somebody who probably wouldn't have been around in 1902, but somebody who says that was the situation. So I think that maybe in some of the other alleys in town, I was led to believe that in the old days, people also had access because that's where your horses drove in and parked their carriages, you know, as opposed to in front. So it could be a number of reasons why it was kept open. Maybe it was to allow the guy to come in and haul off your manure too. Could have been garbage.
Even if there's some question about what the actual purpose was in 1902, I think the council could probably make a determination about whether there is a present need for this alley or not, or future prospective need for it or not. And that's a public use for it and not a private use.
I have a hard time even calling it an alley, because an alley like we have in the city, be it Harms Alley or who knows what, they go from public street to public street, and then, you know, they're maintained. This doesn't serve a purpose other than the people who live there that need access to their backyard. And so, as I said in December, all the taxpayers are paying for almost private access to the back of these houses. And I can understand when you said your father built a house. I understand, but things change. I mean, we don't collect garbage there anymore, and things change. And I just, we're not relinquishing an alley. What we're doing is saying the city of Willits cannot justify maintaining or keeping this as access. We have no purpose for it whatsoever. It doesn't serve the city of Willits one bit. So I know that there's petitions, and I know that in the same way people are going to yell at me, but I'm going to say I can't support this for public supporting private backyard usage. That's me.
Yeah, I look at it differently, to be honest with you. I see neighbors who are disagreeing. I think there are good arguments on both sides, and those arguments should be taken to your neighbors to try to convince them What I see is that there's a minority of people who are trying to use their local government to force their neighbors to do something they can't force them to do themselves. And that's not something I would like to support, in the sense that if there was a majority agreement on this, and I would just go ahead and concede we have the right to do so. If we were going to do so, all the things would be in order. I'm sure we can have a public hearing. I'm sure that we'd have findings. All of those things would be in short order. But I'm also just not excited about the idea of not listening to the population itself. I mean, I'm not sure how that became like secondary for us as representatives. Like that's a secondary thing. What the people wanted. I feel like everybody who's making arguments are making good arguments, but if they're not able to convince their neighbors, I'm not sure that it's up to the local government to determine a local dispute. They disagree on this, and it's literally like mowing, 3 yards wide for a small distance here. I don't know about cost savings. A liability would be a cost by, honestly, we could just take care of liability by revamping our efforts to take care of the land that the city maintains. And that should be true of all of our city property. So I don't see that as the only recourse. If it's not being maintained, or if it is a danger, then the city should be taking care of that too. And I don't see us, I just don't see the agreement. And without the agreement, I don't see the need to move forward or to further discuss it.
Oh, so if, with what you just said, I just want to make sure you don't support relinquishing the liability, relinquishing the access.
I do not support using change of regulation or relinquishing the access because the population who lives there also does not support it.
And I will say that on the petition that we were given, and while there were a lot of names, anybody has a right to sign a petition, but some of those signatures have no, as far as I can see in the petition, connection to that alleyway.
It's irrelevant.
I'm just making a point.
A long time ago.
Okay. So, do you want to weigh in?
No, I made up my mind a long time ago.
Oh, okay. Okay, so is there any more council discussion? So is there a motion to go one,
It says that we're not going to vote today. If you read
discussion, okay, discussion. All right, so we're just having a discussion today. So we will put it on the agenda. We have to vote on this.
You know what, Tom, though? I guess.
Give direction to staff.
Yeah, I guess my concern, the question I have is, I guess a formal letter to property owners to come back with yea or nay would be one concern I have. Number two, I guess I'd like the fire department to weigh in. I would like any utilities to get dealt with. I guess I'd want all that done with so that all the other players involved with this. Because one of the things I found in a lot of our alley issues, because I live in an alley that was abandoned, it was not, from talking to my neighbors, it was not done correctly. And there was hard feelings that happened. And rather than do that and subject this, that I'd rather get some things, it's been like this since 1902. I don't think a couple more months of getting some information is going to change things if we can get some good facts.
I'm not going to disagree. I just don't want to have continuous meetings.
No, that's why I'm saying, rather than have a continuous meeting, I think I'd rather just get that information before I'm in a position to.
Okay. Mr. Mayor, do you think it'd be appropriate to find out actually how fellow Councilman Stransky feels? Because if it's 2-2 right now, I'm not sure what else we're going to be moving on to.
Well, we have Dusty wants to weigh in.
Yeah, just to try to provide a little bit of clarification on the process that we've gone through to get to this moment. So through our the process that's been codified, letters went out from the applicant to all property owners, an official template letter notifying them of the request. And that's actually part of the process that occurs before they submit their application to us. It's one of the application requirements. So that has happened. There has been an official notification. And then certainly, as Ms. Groom alluded to, staff has provided notice of this request for both the December 10th hearing and this one. The other thing that happens as part of that process, both through the applicant providing notification to utilities that may have interest in the alley, whether future use or existing use, as well as staff through the project referral process, contacted AT&T, Comcast, fire department, et cetera, and there doesn't appear to be any utility conflicts in this situation, nor has the fire department noted any issue with the abandonment themselves.
Is the fire department aware of this discussion?
I did not give them, staff did not give them notice for this hearing, but they did receive the project referral itself.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to weigh in, Larry, or no?
No.
Okay.
I know where I'm going, do it.
Well, we don't. Okay. All right, then we've had a discussion on this, and so what we're going to do is direct staff to put together what Councilman Gonzalez suggests, making sure that we have a thumbs up or a thumbs down from utilities and the fire department, so we know that instead of hypothesizing about it. And I'm sorry, Mr. Walker.
Well, I just want to make a public comment on what we're talking about.
Okay. So
A couple things interesting.
I'm sorry, Mr. Walker, we closed public comment. I'm
No,
sorry.
it's not for that.
Okay.
It's for what your lawyer said.
Okay. All right, so that's where we are. So to the...
Can I ask a quick question here? I mean, we're giving direction to staff here, right?
Yes.
Are we doing that by majority?
By mayor direction or by, we don't have a majority. We don't have a minority. I don't know, Jerry,
I guess before I could make a decision, I would want to know that we've done that, because like I said, I think the city failed in the area. And again, I didn't own the property at the time, but from talking to my neighbors, that there was a failure on the part of the city at a certain point. So I don't want to be making a decision if we haven't asked those questions.
And I just want to know if Mr. Stransky would like to continue this discussion, or have you...
Just let it go.
Just to let it go?
Let it go.
Okay, all right. Then I recognize that I'm in the minority in that aspect, and we should...
Wait, what do you mean by let it go?
Just give it to the owner that owns the property. Right there.
Okay, so Dusty.
I just want to confirm I was able to look it up. We received a response from the Little Lake Fire Department on January 2nd, 2024, noting they had no comment on the application request.
Okay. All right, so to council, our next step is we've had 2 hearings on this.
Right, and so today is a no action matter, and so if the council wishes to go forward on this application and either deny it or grant it, then we're going to have to notice a hearing for that.
Okay.
And again, the key determination is going to be, are there findings that this is a necessary part of the city's road system?
Right, I get it.
A necessary public purpose.
So we will have one, now can we have one more hearing on this and then make a decision?
You can notice a hearing and make a decision at that hearing.
Okay, so we can narrow this down to having one more, have it on the agenda one more time. All right, that's what we're gonna do. And so everybody who, no matter what side you're on here, I'm gonna tell you what day we're gonna have that.
Do we know how many days we need to be notified of the public hearing?
I want to refamiliarize myself with the process. We're probably out 45 to 60 days from now. Again, I don't have a timeline in my head. The other variable that could also extend that timeline is we're about to go through some staffing reconfigurations, and we certainly have some priorities that we're looking to get through in the next 30 to 45 days, and I'm not fully comfortable. I can give you an estimated date. I mean, I could certainly share that we're at least 45.
Can we estimate April 8th?
We can estimate April 8th.
Okay. So, yes, Joe.
Okay, that's why I just figured if you came back to us and gave us a date as opposed to putting it on the spot.
May I ask council whether we have to, we're going to approve this this application, so does that vote required for that approval of application or just a general consensus?
Well, we're going to set up a hearing, a noticed hearing, and at that hearing, you're going to hear evidence, and it's going to be whether or not the findings support vacation of the alley, or the findings don't support vacation of the alley.
Yeah, so it's not whether you like this side or that side, it's just whether or not we have reason to continue.
Okay, and when we say a hearing, we're talking about just what we just had here. It'll be, right, or will it be a specific?
No, it'll be a discussion where people have the opportunity to come to the podium and to
present evidence.
But it'll be at a city council meeting. We can have a hearing at a city council meeting. So, all right, thank you.
Isn't that what we just did?
Yes, but it was on the agenda as a discussion.
Not as a hearing.
We're trying to follow the law, so if, no matter what decision is made, there's not going to be an appeal. So, I know you're busy, but April 8th is when we're going to have the hearing to make the final decision.
Right.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. So if you want to leave, no hard feelings. You're welcome to. All right. Moving on to discussion of potential collaboration between the City of Willits and the County of Mendocino to relocate donated sculptures to a public location within the City Highway 20 Park. Presenting member Dusty Duley, Community Development Director.
All right, thank you, Mayor, council members. So this is also a continuation of the discussion from the December 10th council meeting. This is a idea that came forward, presented to staff by Karen Matson with the Mendocino County Museum, and there's an opportunity to explore the relocation of 7 sculptures that were created by a relatively famous folk artist. I'm sorry, I should have rephrased this.
We're talking.
We said we needed property next to this.
No, this is just collaboration.
Okay, I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay. Even closer. This is even closer to the property.
Against everything, so that.
Well, actually, if you're talking about putting this on the grass next to.
But it's just a discussion.
That's, I got a conflict with that too. I'm even closer to that.
All right, I'm sorry we cut you off.
No, and I'm sorry I didn't wait for Councilmember Burton to sit down before.
Didn't interrupt you.
No, it's fine. I should have waited. Right, so again, we're exploring an opportunity to relocate these sculptures from a folk artist named Mark Walker. The sculptures are currently on display as you're heading up. As you're heading up Highway 20 toward the CAL Fire Station on the west side of the highway. At this point, we're aware of some potential costs related to restoring the sculptures, transporting the sculptures, building a concrete pad for them to be placed on should the council want to support their relocation to the Highway 20 Park. The staff, in communicating with the museum, took the assumption that the city was not likely going to be willing or able to participate in the costs. So it does appear that funds will come from the museum, the county, or there's some citizens that have offered up their services to seek fundraising to support the full cost of their relocation. There are some key questions that are noted in the agenda summary as far as would the city require taking over ownership of the sculptures if we would allow them to be placed in our park. Any specific provisions we'd want in a maintenance agreement that would also be required and would come before council at a later date. We have Karen Matson, the director of the museum here. I'm happy to introduce her and she can give you an update on the project. But certainly it would be helpful to hear if council supported the idea or had any specific concerns or provisions that they'd like to see created through the process. Thank you.
Thank you. Karen?
Would you like me to?
If you don't mind, you can give us your presentation. I think that, we're certainly concerned about cost and maintenance and everything else.
Karen Matson. So I was here previously, and I shared a lot of the history about the sculptures, but the museum is working to preserve these sculptures. So no matter what, we are working on a plan to relocate them, and the plan involves restoring the sculptures, moving the sculptures, pouring a pad, and having a fence around them. And that will be wherever we locate them. However, we've had multiple community meetings, and some of the feedback from the community is that there could be an opportunity to have it at the Highway 20 location, and that might have a greater benefit by placing it there. So I am working on a detailed plan to flesh out those elements that I just shared, and we are behind doing those things. So what I'm here for is to get feedback from you and from the community on if you would like us to partner and locate it at that site.
Just like the last item is a discussion.
It's a discussion.
So everybody can weigh in on it, and we'll have public weigh in on it also.
And our current thinking is that we could have a 5-year plan where the museum, just as a starting point, where the museum or the county has the responsibility of maintenance, and we'd have this very well-defined concrete pad with the fence and everything inside it would be part of that maintenance plan. Some of the feedback I got last time when I was here is that we needed a very clear partnership, and so we've been working towards dialing in how that could happen.
Okay. Anybody want to weigh in? Larry?
I want to ask a question. I have a picture of this, all of this. Are you going to try to move this whole thing to wherever we move it to?
No. So we've been looking really carefully at the sculpture. There's a total of 7 sculptures, and the current proposal actually has changed a little bit since I was here last, in that we feel that the initial set of sculptures, which is the ox cart and the man and the mule with the wood, those are all part of the original set, and that would be what I would recommend be placed at the Highway 20 site. And some of the smaller sculptures, which would be the eagle and the children and the dog, be placed at the museum. And the added benefit of that is that we would be getting some circulation through Willits. So people would see this folk art sculpture. There'd be a reason possibly to see more folk art sculpture at the museum, and get people really moving through our community and slowing down, because that's one of the great benefits of sculpture.
So the dog and the eagle would be at the museum?
Yes.
Is the way you have it planned?
That's what we're looking at.
And the other thing with the 3 people or the 3 items on it is a big piece on concrete right now.
It's a 1-foot slab of concrete, and it was 2 different purposes. One, it's built up over a mound of dirt, and part of the purpose was that some sayings were inscribed in the base. We have a sculpture committee. Our former director, Mark Rowich, is on that, and he worked really closely with Mark Rocker, and we asked for his advice on whether he felt the whole pad would need to go and how that would need to be preserved. But we have so much footage and documentation of it that we feel that if that were compromised in the process, that it's not a necessary part of relocating it. And he felt like that was appropriate. So we've done a lot of thinking about it, and we have so much documentation on his work and the process that we feel really good about our ability to continue to, we will still be able to share all the sayings in a different way. And one of the great advantages of this sculpture and the way that this gift was given to our community is that it's flexible in a way that other sculpture is. It's been repainted multiple times. It's been added to, and he knew that when he gave that to us, that it would need to be changed. And throughout time, you can see even the color of the sculptures have changed a little bit over time.
Is it going to be covered?
It's not going to, Highway 20? So not with a structure, but with a sealant that has not been added before. So in our previous,
each one of the items.
Yes, a sealant on the sculpture itself. What has been missing in the past efforts to repaint it is a really strong sealant, so that if something were painted on it, it wasn't able to be removed. But that would be a step that we are looking at We're trying to research which would be the best version, because there's some that come off with the paint, and then there's some that don't, and we're working on it.
And they're going to fence it if it goes on Highway 20.
It's going to be fenced no matter what. We've done some careful thinking about that, and we definitely want to make sure that everyone understands this is not a structure to climb on. It's not inviting interaction. It was intended to be viewed roadside driving by, and so we think that a fence is important as part of the whole plan. It has to be part of it.
Okay.
So is your vision that this is not going to cost the city of Willits anything?
So my vision is that, or the county's vision is that we are going to contribute the funding that would be needed no matter where we place them. However, I would need to know more about if you're interested in having this on loan. If you were interested in having it on loan, I'd want to know how you'd handle the liability piece if something were to happen, as we would if we took anyone's loan. So I would expect there could be some partnership in that, because it just makes sense. And it is I think it's really a contribution to the community.
It definitely is a nice thing.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I just wanted to bring up something that came up last time about the concern about the sprinklers. Is that going to wear down the art with the cement art? Because if anything is going to get wet on a regular basis, is that sealant going to take care of that, or?
Well, so I'm still working on researching the right sealant. I will say they have been out in the elements for 50 years, and other than the paint, they are in pretty good shape structurally. It's certainly something I would like to, if your direction is that you'd like us to continue to explore that, I would want to work with the city and find out more about the placement and see if there's anything we could do to mitigate that. I don't know a lot about it.
No, I'd be in favor.
It's a good point.
It's a partnership.
Yeah.
Bruce?
I really support putting this in the museum. Art is art, you know, it resonates with some people better than others. And I think the location it's in now, I've always liked that. But if it has to move, I would support moving it in its entirety to the museum.
Okay.
You know, as much as I think it'd be awesome there, and I would support it, I think if the majority of the council felt that way, but I'm so afraid that I can envision, even if there's a fence there, that people are going to pull over and want to jump on it. I mean, being a cop for 30 years, people jumped on things they weren't supposed to jump on and messed with things they weren't supposed to mess with, and where it's at right now, it's not that accessible for people to mess with. Not that I don't think we've had any problems with anybody messing with the current kinetic sculpture there. I would be willing to go with the majority of the council, but I just have that concern in the back of me. It'd be like you entrusting the Mona Lisa to me, and then all of a sudden it gets trashed while I had it at my house.
I appreciate that, and as somebody that, is a steward of many precious things, it's really important to balance sharing things with the community so they can enjoy them and learn from them.
Yeah, I mean, that's in the back of my mind.
Yeah, so I appreciate the perspective, but my concern is that we've been given a gift for the purpose of, inspiring thought and reflection, and if no one sees it, it's not serving that purpose.
No, and that's why I think it'd be great if I'm driving down Highway 20 coming into town, and I think it would be aesthetically beautiful, and it would be a conversation piece. I've been to lots of places where they've had things like this, and I can see the benefit to the community. But I also can just see a bunch of teenagers from Bechtel Grove deciding they want to stop and play with the ox cart. Just because of that.
Are you looking at a 6-foot fence at least?
Well, these are all things that I'd like to discuss with the city more carefully. Right. I don't foresee that a 6-foot fence would be needed. I really don't. They're really not. I mean, I'm sure you would say anything's climbable, and I would appreciate that. But they're not. The scale is deceiving from the road. They're not inviting in that sense.
Okay.
And I have 2 teenage sons.
Okay.
I'm just so Dusty, what do you see the next step is?
It would be helpful to hear from council if they want your city staff to continue to work with with Karen and anyone else from the county to relocate them to the Highway 20 park. Alternatively, it would be helpful to hear that, we have concerns and we don't feel like that's an appropriate location, so that we're not, spending our energy in that direction.
Well, without taking a vote, maybe each council person could just say what their thoughts are.
I'm in favor of forming a partnership. On like a lease
I'm
basis.
yes also.
On forming a partnership?
Again, yes, just I have those concerns.
Bruce?
I've already expressed my.
Okay, and I'm supporting a partnership, so continue on. I know that time is limited and it's precious, but I mean, if you're really and truly looking at a 5-year plan, good for you.
We need to have somebody from the audience once.
So yes, Phil. All right, now public comment. Mr. Walker.
Mark Walker, 55 West Oak. So per my conversation with Karen the day after the meeting in the rain down there, I spoke to her and said, Bruce confirmed it's a good idea to put them at the museum. And my comments to her was, maybe that'd be stimulus for people to come in and visit the museum and actually get the full heritage of what's going on here. Instead of just isolating them on a park and hope somebody don't turn right and instead they go left downtown and come down. That's what it's a roll of the dice. But over there, maybe vandals will think twice due to the fact that it's under surveillance. Okay, keep the criminals back. No offense necessary. There's
So
plenty of
you're
room
saying
down-
keep them at the museum?
Yes, exactly. They belong to the county.
Okay.
Okay? So that's a good place for them. So my thought was to try to dissolve the city of any kind of financial burden set by them. Just be able to, like maybe when come time to move them, say, hey, we got a forklift, we got a petty bone, we got this and that. We can try to help you pick them up, put them on a trailer, and get them to where they're going. It's a minimal cost with stuff you already own. And if you want to loan a couple of laborers, ask them if they want to volunteer their time. There's a lot of good things to do. You can do to make it work. You can turn it into a nest and there'll be nothing but trouble. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. Yes, sir. Welcome.
Eric Hart. I know that the primary concern here is finances, so I wanted to reassure you that the Willits Center for the Arts and the Public Art Committee have both are on board supporting this, and we will be working with Karen and the Friends of the Museum to bring in financial support from donors to cover anything that Karen and the county cannot cover for the fencing, the concrete, and whatever other work needs to go. And in fact, we have enough interest that we may even be able to go above and beyond that and provide an environment for it that's fitting of the pioneer time that it was built and intended. We are leaning towards the 20 position for it because it was intended to be a public piece of art that is viewed as people go down the highway, and moving it to the 20 is a good solution for that. I really appreciate Karen's idea of having them split so that when people stop at the park and engage with them there, we'll have educational signs that help them understand the history of it and also help them understand that there's more of this collection over at the museum to connect them through. We're also talking about, once we get them out of their cars, having signs there that talk about the local businesses and the other cultural institutions, so that will help drive business into Willits rather than people just driving right through. But the main point is just to reassure you that we are working on engaging some folks locally for donations to help cover any costs so that they don't fall on the city.
That's very generous. Thank you very much. Is there anybody else who would like, by all means?
Amy Grims, it's great to have art in the community. One thought came to mind, pulling over and stopping. I drive that every day to work. And what I remember, and maybe I'm remembering incorrectly, that there's really not much of a shoulder by that park. And so we've checked on the speed limit and all of that because people drive pretty fast there, and I know I'm heading to work. But there's really not a shoulder to pull over and park. And so it's very dangerous for those that walk as well. And so think about that also. If people are going to pull over and stop and look, it's a busy highway right there. And I think it's a good idea to have things for the community to look at and to understand our history. But think about that.
Thank you very much, Amy.
Yeah.
Good points. Yeah. Anybody else would like to weigh in on this? Gloria.
So, Gloria Westby. So regarding that, I know you said that you guys are going to raise money and all of that. So are you going to also raise money in case somebody gets hurt or some child, 7 years old, decides they want to climb on it? They don't sue the city? Are you guys going to be raising money to put in a fund in case somebody gets hurt? Like she said, either by a car, gets hit by a car, or some kid's climbing over it, breaks an arm, breaks a neck, now he's paralyzed. I don't think the city should say, yeah, let's go ahead and partner with you, because now the city's liable for those people that are getting hurt.
Good points, yeah. Thank you.
I'm just saying.
Is there anybody else who would like to weigh in? Going once, going twice. Public comment is closed. All right, so direction has been given. All right, any city council announcements, communications, or reports?
That didn't change anybody's mind.
We don't know that. You have anything on councilman report announcements?
I do not. Thank you.
Okay, Gary?
No, I think we're trying to schedule a meeting with the chamber, and that's, I think, one thing that's coming up, so.
Nothing.
Nothing? Everything? And I have nothing. So with that and the good and welfare, we have no closed session. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you for attending. Thank you.